everybody. Welcome to Let's Pour Up. My name is Colina Bruce. My guest today is known for being an artist, and we'll talk more about that. Is also a certified yoga instructor and loves horseback riding. Please welcome, I call her Latte, but my girl, Choklate.
Cokie.
Hello.
Hello.
It's been so long. I feel like we haven't seen each other in forever.
I
don't know how this show is going to go.
I feel like I was with you yesterday, bro.
Because we just pick up where we left off every time. Before we get into anything, I start with a quote. So I'm just going to read this quote, and I'm going to ask you to respond to it.
Okay.
It says, yoga is self-discovery in motion. How do you feel about that?
It's so true.
You're a yogi?
True. I'm a yogi. I'm a certified yoga and meditation instructor.
Okay.
I specialize in trauma-informed care, mental health first aid.
Nice.
Crisis prevention and intervention. And yoga really is the art of discovering the foundational reality of your being, honestly. But if you don't get to go as deep in the beginning of your practice, it really is just discovering how your body is supposed to be able to move and how you move it without the fear or the preconditions in your mind.
Yeah.
You settle those so that your body can move in the way that it really is supposed to. So that quote is dead on.
My gosh. I feel like so in tune. I've never done yoga before.
Oh,
it's a little intimidating.
Mo.
I also feel like,
do
you fart a lot when you do yoga?
I mean, if you're not taking care of your digestive system, yes. Sometimes I do yoga to fart.
Oh, to get it out?
Yeah, legit.
I feel like that's probably like hot yoga.
No. The moves that induce, your digestive system functioning the way that it's supposed to, they're core twists. Ooh. They call them supine twists. Sometimes you'll lay on the ground. You've done the stretches. Yeah. Like if you were to do a figure four and just lean to one side. Okay. Or you lay onto your back and you twist up your knees. It's really just wringing out your core, which is where stuff gets stuck. Like food you probably shouldn't be eating and such.
All those things.
Yep.
That's probably why it's intimidating for me.
Yeah, because you fart?
No, because I don't eat
Colina
well.
farts when she does yoga.
I've never done yoga before, so I don't know.
You're going to do yoga with me.
I will, yeah.
Colina is going to host either a virtual...
Accountability. This is accountability.
Either a virtual or an in-person yoga event where I will be teaching.
Oh, dope. Okay.
Yeah. And I will lead a class that really just exposes you to how simple yoga can be. Okay. Western culture made yoga intimidating.
Okay.
But the real yoga is very spiritual, honestly. Yeah. Your body just obeys what you're trying to remind it that it can do. But you have to settle the mind to do it. So it's really more about mind and internal and energy and, getting out of your fears so that your body can function the way it's supposed to function. Like when you come out the womb, breathing even, doing yoga during yoga, you focus on the breath and you focus on a type of breath that you do instinctively when you come out of the womb, but not for very long because our society is very, high stimuli, high consumption,
shiny ball
it's just
syndrome.
A lot, right? And so we walk around taking these small sips of breath. And what you learn during yoga, or what I learned as a teacher, is that it's because we are always in fight or flight mode. And if you think about it, when you're like on the internet or when you're cruising your social media, you go through these series of emotions very quickly, very quickly. You're high, you're happy, you're laughing. Oh my God, that's funny. Oh my God, that's so sad. And oh my God, that hurts. And sometimes it's called, what do they call it? It's like passive trauma. It's like experiencing other folks' trauma. And our bodies can't help but to function that way. Yeah. So if you stop right now, you're probably not taking full breaths.
I was just going to say, I feel like you should give me a breathing exercise.
Do you want to do it?
Yeah, because
all right, so
I'm like really...
Put your feet on the ground.
Okay.
Put your feet on the ground. Let's put our backs completely against the back.
Okay.
Feet flat. And then, have your legs just together. Don't try to hold them together. Just soften your whole body. Okay. And then I want you to just close your eyes for a second. Okay. And then listen to the sound of my voice and just follow the instructions. You don't have to do anything else. And I want you to notice what your breath is doing right now. Chances are you're holding it. Because that's what everybody does. They're like,
am I supposed to breathe right now?
Yeah. What is she going to say next? Right? And then when you're ready, just take the biggest, deepest breath in through your nose, as big as you can get it. Big breath in, fill up your chest, fill up your shoulders, fill up everything good. Hold it for 3, 2, 1. Exhale, soften your whole body. Okay, so how we usually do it, right? You take a big breath in and then you go, whoo, you blow it out, right? Yeah. So we're going to teach your audience what is called Ujjayi breathing. Okay. So you're going to take your hand, put it in front of your face. Okay. Big breath in. Fog a mirror. You feel the heat on your hand? Good. Big breath in. I got hot breath. We all got hot breath. Big breath in. Exhale. Good. Hand down. Lips closed. See how the throat expanded when you Yeah. Big breath in. Lips closed this time, but still open your throat like you're fogging a mirror. Hissing sound? Mm-hmm, good. Mm-hmm, big breath in. Hissing sound. Let it go. Very good. So we're going to do 3 of these. And this, what we're doing right now, is a way that you can use this at all times of the day. No one will really know you're doing it unless you're being really dramatic about it, right? Okay. But it's a way to bring your nervous system back to baseline. No matter what's going on outside, if you feel energy rushing beneath your skin, if your heart's beating fast. You ever wake up in the middle of the night and your heart's beating really fast? Yes. I don't know what that is, but it happens to me. Yeah. Your ears get real hot. Sometimes you feel heat in the back. That's just anxiety responses. And it's very human. It's very normal. Yeah. You're not crazy or anything. Good. But it's your body just trying to process all the stimuli. Yeah. Sometimes the body's like, this is a lot. Right? The most. So only 3 of these breaths will bring you back down to baseline, even if it's just a smidgen beneath the edge. Okay. You'll get it. Okay? So back to that posture. Roll your shoulders up, back and down one good time. Reach your crown up, not your forehead, but where you would sit a crown. Create some space in the base of your neck. Yeah. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Soften, let it go. Soften your whole body. Keep your eyes closed. Big breath in for 1. Big breath in. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3. Soften your body. 2, 3. Again. Breath in. Big breath. 3, 4. And hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. Soften the body. 4 and hold. 2. One last time. Big breath in, big as you can get it, from the toes up, and hold. 2, 3, 4. Slowly exhale. Soften your whole body. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Has anybody ever told you should make an album? Yeah, all the time. And I love it so much. Oh, I feel so relaxed. Just a little bit better. Yeah. That's awesome. It's crazy. Thank you. My pleasure. Yeah. Now I'm like, I don't even want to. I'm ready for the interview now. Okay. All right. I love it. I'm going to use that. Please. That's a good practice. Teach it to your kids. Yeah. Do it with your hubby. Yeah. It's a thing whenever, so I work in the social services industry. I have my entire career. I'll get off the plane from Japan. And I used to get off the plane from Japan and go to Spruce Street. I used to work at Spruce Street, right across from the juvenile secure facility, right? Love the work. Have done it my whole life. It feeds me in a way that music never will. And I love teaching it to people because that's the way you breathe when you come out of the womb. And because our society is so abrasive, we forget. And so we're walking around, taking these little sips of breath. And your brain's like, what's going on? Is something happening? And you're like, why am I feeling this way? Nothing's happening. It's because your brain's not getting enough oxygen on the daily, on the regular, you know? And so it's been really one of the most fascinating things for me is to see people physically respond to just giving their brains a decent amount of oxygen. And that's all it is. It's not spiritual. It's not some voodoo. It's literally your breath. And in some countries, when you go to the doctor, they prescribe a breathing regimen. And then if that doesn't heal whatever's wrong with you, then they will look at medicine. So that's crazy. Yeah. So well, it's interesting to think about. Just it puts everything into perspective. When you think about naturopathy, or you just think about
what is already within us that we can utilize to heal ourselves or to
feed
contribute.
ourselves, clean
Contribute to
ourselves.
healing. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Everything that we are very much we're a very consumer bound society.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I have loved in evolving as a human being is that I decided, like, I don't want to be addicted to outside stimuli or acquiring outside stuff, right? I want to do things that are purposeful. I want to do things that make me feel good.
Yeah.
But I don't want to feel like I have to, right?
Right.
And so I don't take pills. Not because I can't.
Yeah.
Not because I don't know there's a pill out there that can help with whatever I'm dealing with. But chances are I probably need to eat a little better, breathe a little more, and let my feet touch the grass, and I'll be okay.
Yeah.
So my approach to maintaining myself, especially on the journey I am right now, is like to just escape the hustle of it all and breathe and touch the earth and drink some water.
Period.
And eat some broccoli. Yeah. Okay, have an apple.
Okay, let's talk about the journey because you're giving rock star right now.
I know. Don't judge me, y'all.
No.
There is a very regular reason.
Okay, we're both. I'm not giving rock star. I'm giving bookworm. But
you're giving boss.
A lot of times,
like you always do. That. You can't even help yourself on your worst day. Okay.
Hello.
That part.
But I feel like you're on the go right now.
Yeah.
You got a lot of things happening. You're in Seattle for a short amount of time.
For sure.
Where are you from? Where are you going?
Ooh,
that was.
I thought I was goosebumps. I thought, are we a journalist? Like, what did we? Is this like hidden talent? Girl, where am I from? I am from a space that I have yet to discover, and I am going to a space that I belong but did not know that I belonged. That's the best way I can say it.
Can we talk about this a little bit? Because I
Don't get on me.
Okay, no, because, so for those of you who don't know, this is Choklate, the Choklate. When I think about coming up back in the day, aging ourselves a little bit, and just thinking about, like, music and the music scene and, like, people that people would get dressed to go see on a stage, you know, like your top 3.
Wow.
And I've always felt like you've just had it. Vocally, like, not many people can mess with you.
Wow.
You write, you sing, you do all these things. And I've even texted you a number of times. Like, I'll hear a song and I'm like, Chalk, this sounds like something you wrote 10 years ago. Like, how does that make you feel when you, or do you feel that way? Do you feel like you hear things and you're like,
I realize it now.
Okay.
I didn't realize it then. I thought it was rather presumptuous and a bit like self-absorbed to think that things that I heard, there's a run that a friend of mine, a really famous DJ friend of mine, was like, he called me one day and he had a conversation with me. It was just like, you know, he knew what I was going through personally. He was just like, you don't know the impact you've had on the industry. He was like, because of where I sit, I see all of you. I see all of the artists that I've loved. I see your impact on the industry. And he was just like, you don't see it. He was like, I have one way to show you. And he played me this run. And he was like, that's yours. And I was like, what? He was like, yep. And he played it to me 3 other times. Only 3 other times. He was like, this artist, and this artist, this one time. That's your run. And I was like, what? I really kind of was just like, this is weird. I think this is cocky. I don't agree, you know? But he is not the type of person to lie. He doesn't really care.
I mean, and your imprint is there. You know, you've had what many people would see as huge wins and huge successes. Yeah. You've had placements on different shows. You're in the game. You're still in the game. That speaks for itself.
Yeah.
But you say you haven't felt like that.
Fish don't know water is wet. I thought I quit. Let me keep it a buck. I thought it was a wrap, bro. I thought, man, I got down to LA, and for the first couple of years, I gave every fucking ounce of me. I gave, and I feel like God was just like, nah, now. But then I just was like, okay, maybe God doesn't want me to do this. And I genuinely, I'm the cat. I want God's peace more than I want any of this shit. Like,
Yeah.
I could care less. This shit could go away tomorrow. If God says so, Chalk, you're never doing music again, bet. Like, I just want to be peaceful.
Yeah.
Like, I want to sleep at night. You know what I mean? I want to sleep at night. I want to travel the world. I want to love my life. I want to create a legacy that my nieces and my nephews can say, that's my aunt.
Yeah.
Here's something to hold on to. When I die, I want to leave them fat, setups. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's, I think, legacy. I think what's going to stay on the earth when my body is decaying within it.
Yeah.
That is going to have an impact beyond my years on it, And so I don't care about this as much. And so I've never really thought, I've always walked away from it. I always try to walk away. I always like, okay, God, okay, if this ain't it, cool. Like, you know what I'm saying? Give it to me straight, no chaser. I'm trying to be obedient. I don't want no problems, And it keeps coming back. It is the most disrespectful, disruptive, toxic lover I have ever had in my life.
I can't.
But it also is just, I do love it. And I think over the course of the last 3 years, I was writing songs for TV and film with BMG, and I created a great those people, they're my hippie little tribe. Took me 10 years to find them in LA, but I love, they're my family, And I got to do music, and it was briefs. So briefs are basically like people that do movies will say, we need this type of thing, or, they do series, we need this type of vibe or this type of sound. And then they tell you the producer you're going to work with, and then you go in and you create what they need.
Yeah.
They give you some money for it. You know what I'm saying? If it works, it works. If it don't, it don't.
Right.
That's better than anything I ever did. Yeah. I love it. It's like going to work and getting paid. Great.
Yeah.
It's my MO, you know? But a couple years into that, and in my mind, I was like, okay, this is how I'm going to exist within this. And I was happy. I own a couple pieces of property in Southern California. I'm yoga meditation
Palm Springs
instructor. Yeah. And I work in the social services field. I have an impact on a daily. I run a 10-person, I like my life. I look good on paper. I was happy. And then here come music, like out the blue.
Yeah.
Like that toxic lover that just go away, bro. Just like.
But I need to go back to something, because you said. Because you said you want to leave a legacy. And I would argue that your music is a part of your legacy. Like when you are gone,
just you wait.
Exactly.
Just you
so
wait.
Let's not.
I made the record of my career,
and that's the thing.
And I'm so excited to share.
Things. We're doing big things. It's not a little music thing.
It's
a big thing. So, well, are you able to share?
I can.
Okay. What's happening? What's happening?
Last year, somewhere around like fourth quarter, my BMG family were working with Moby, and he was looking for some session vocals, and they called and they were like, hey, do us a favor. We put your name forward for this thing. They like you. Go do some session vocals with Moby. And I was like, Moby? Why? But here's a crazy thing. All I can remember of Moby at this point, all I knew of Moby was that Blue album with, the bald little fella on the front, you know what I'm saying? Couldn't see his face. I just knew he was bald. He's white shirt on. He's jumping in the air with the black pants. Yes. I knew the album cover, but I couldn't tell you one song on it. And I really couldn't recall one moment where, certain songs, like you think of certain times in music, you're like, that was brings you all the way back.
Right.
I didn't have any of those with him. And so I was like, I'll go do the session.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. Cool, Little coin. And you get your little bag, so you do a little session. But the whole time in the session, he's like, can you give me a little less? Can you give me a little less? Can you give me a little less? And he kept doing that. And every time I would try to add some little zhuzh, he'd be like, can you give me a little less? And so I left the studio session feeling like, meh, okay. Okay. And then I think it was around February. Let's talk about broke up with my dude, crashed my car, lost my gig, one of my best gigs I ever had in my life, yoga meditation gig. It was just, I was like, what is happening?
You were in the valley. You were in the valley.
I was like, also, hard pivot. I know the Lord will do this every now and then. So, okay, hard pivot.
Yeah.
And I lost the gig. I got the email. I was checking Sunday for the next week's instructions, and the email said, as of Friday, the prior Friday, your contract is finished. So I was about to cry, but my boyfriend at the time was just like, breathe.
Woosah. Breathing technique.
Breathe.
Do we come back to
He's like, I'm sitting right here. What are you stressed about? You're good, And I was like, bet, you're right. Thank God for him.
Yeah.
But I then sat down and, took a breath, and I was like, all right. So I opened, because I needed to go through both my music emails and the other one, and I opened my email, and it was different. It was different. And it had been years since I opened my email, and there was like a whole page of new relevant emails. And there was a whole page of relevant emails, and they were all new, and they were all different opportunities.
Come on.
All like at the same time on the same day. I was like, oh, okay. I see
all
you.
Right. Okay, God.
I was like, that was a bit, a bit aggressive, but okay. Okay, this is where we're going? Okay.
Okay.
Okay. And so that was when I got the email about, hey, we want to put the song on the album.
Wow.
And I was like, cool.
Congrats.
I'm still not thinking nothing. I'm like, okay, cool, And then a couple emails later, a couple weeks later, we want you to go on tour with us.
Come on, tour.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then my homeboy that I've known for like over 2 decades, Eric Wisa, he works at Live Nation's 501c3 called Music Forward Foundation. He texted me talking about Choklate featuring Moby, Sweet Moon. Like a whole bunch of question marks and stuff.
You're like,
and I'm like, sorry. I text him and I'm like, is it okay? Do you like, is it okay? I hadn't heard it yet. So all I had in my mind was, meh, would I land? So I had already said yes to all this stuff. But in that moment, I was like, I called the fellow that had set it all up. And I was like, I haven't heard. I don't know what I'm getting myself into.
Yeah, what's happening?
Yeah, I was like, you think I could hear the song?
Please.
That might be a good time to actually hear the song. And so we sent it, and Wisa was like, he was like, microdose and listen to it. So I microdosed. And I listened to it, driving down the freeway, and I was like,
okay.
Fell in love. Love.
Yes, as you should.
Fell in love. And I have always wanted to not have to live inside the categorical boxes that they create for music. But I kind of felt like, everybody knows me for neo soul, so that's what I'm going to have to do if I'm going to try to. I tried to do something else like in 2015, and everybody was like, it didn't land. It didn't land. This is up there still. It just did not land. But it's funny because the lyrics of that song are, you don't believe me, you won't believe me, but you're going to believe me when you see me up there. That was the chorus.
That was a manifestation.
Every time I say it, it gives me goosebumps.
Yeah.
Because I just put that out because I was like, I haven't done anything in a long time. Maybe they won't care that it's so different, But it went nowhere. And this is the next thing.
But it went here.
It did. Yeah. It did. And so the opportunity that I feel with Moby is that I really finally get to be free. And I've always had creative inclinations in every genre.
Yeah.
But there was no, you can't, look like me and do whatever you want.
Well.
Not in the world I was doing music in. If I keep it a buck with myself, Man, you can only do what you can do.
The industry standards are different. Yeah.
You can
But, I remember when you were putting tours together.
Yes.
We would literally, you'd be like, okay, we're going on tour. Okay.
And let's talk about the fact that I paid like I weighed, and I was a professional, and I treated people well.
Yeah,
it might have been a bit grimy. We might have stayed at somebody's crib, but it was a nice crib.
We were on tour.
That
part.
That part.
You've been doing this. You were made for it. So
yeah, Colina, I think I'm finally starting to accept it. It has taken me all the way up until the last couple months. The first 2 months of this whole thing, when I started realizing, it's a sold-out stadium tour. This is a globally famous artist. I've just, I threw up for the first 2 months. And then I just was like, okay, bitch, drink your water.
Yeah.
Say your prayers. Lean on God and just get to the other side of it. And so, roller coasters. You get to the top, like.
Yeah.
You been on a roller coaster?
Oh, I love roller coasters.
Me too. You're on the top right. And you hear the ka-kunk.
Yeah.
Right? And everybody's like, what? Those bars, right?
Hold on for dear life.
What's
It's
this,
coming.
August? Since February. When I tell you I wake up every morning and I'm like,
Is that a good feeling?
I like roller coasters. You know what I'm saying? I like them. Do I want to be on them every day? No, but I mean, I've finally gotten to a point. My good friends, my day ones, my real day ones that are still my day ones.
Yeah.
They always reach out at the perfect times and send me love and root me on. And my family, like, really, because it got quiet, you know? When the winds slow down, so does the cheering sound, you know? And it's like, whatever. What are you going to do? You got to live. You got to grow up. You got to figure it out. So those people have always kept me, my mom, my family, my sister-in-law, she's like my closest.
Yeah.
She's her, Renee, Ani, Harriet, you know.
Hey, guys.
Yeah, hey. You know, if I really talk about 444, Make-A-Wish, if I talk about who has really held me down, I can count on maybe two hands. Like people that I talk to every day, like Akiish, my stylist, my mom.
Love her.
I don't talk to Renee every day, but when it's time to escape real life, that's who I escape with.
Yeah.
Ani, those are my travel buddies. And then, you know, I've got just this really beautiful collection, Moon Baby, DJ Moon Baby. Like, they've kept me. They've held me. Those relationships have really, Eric Wisa, like, those are people that I can say, it doesn't matter what's happening in my world. It doesn't matter what's going down as I'm in LA. They're the anchor.
Yeah.
You know, they're the anchor.
So on that note, you talked about wins. So we have a segment called A Win is a Win. And I invite folks to talk about either something that they're super proud of, which you've shared a lot already, but anything that you're super proud of that you would count as a success, or any challenges that you have grown from and learned from.
I would say the most significant win that I had probably in the last week or two was making my label team cry when I played the last song on the album. And subsequently playing that song for other people and watching them feel the same thing I feel when I wrote and recorded that song. Like, that's the biggest win. Yeah. It's also the most humbling thing, because I wrote that song out of a real space of like, this is where I'm sitting. And like, I have I'm ripped. I'm mollywopped. Yeah. I'm a rap. All I got is God to survive the rest of this, you know? And when I was writing that song, I was just genuinely coming from a space of like, if it don't work, it's on me. If it works, it's on me. If it goes or it don't, it's on me, you know? And I had never felt so, I just needed help. In that moment in that studio, I just needed help. And I sang that I needed help. And when I play that song for other people, like, they relate to that. Yeah. They hold, it seems like everyone holds that same moment in their lives. One of the label heads, Nicole Pellegrino, shout out to Nicole and Amberly and Brad and Courtney. And I'm saying all this stuff on my one of my favorite people's podcasts. Like, I'm so excited to share this part of my journey with you. It feels really special. But I think I honestly feel like I wrote the songs I needed to hear. Yeah. Through this process. Yeah. On the freeway, one phone in my lap, other phone in my hand, driving with my knee, recording the parts. Yeah. I didn't write out one song. I didn't have the space to. I was so gobsmacked in life. And I don't even know how I got through it. I don't even know how I was sitting here, if I keep it a buck. But Sam, the guy that I was working with at the time, was like, you know what, you're finna go on tour with Moby. You need to put out an album. And I was like, okay. Yeah. But this is all me just saying okay. You know, I'm a yes. But sometimes you just have to be obedient to whatever. It's a Mack truck with no brakes. Yeah. You don't get to say no. I don't even get to say no. The other thing that I think is super dope is like using your art to like heal yourself. Like, we talked a little bit about, like, that's how this podcast came to be. Like, I always wanted to do a podcast and I was like, I don't know. And then things started happening and I was like, this podcast will be good for me. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
And I saw that.
But sometimes I talk to producer Blake like, yo, I don't even know. Like, I don't know if I want to do this or if I'm supposed to be doing this. And then I'll be out somewhere and someone will be like, man, like, thanks for your podcast. And so I'm like, whoa, like, people are listening. People are receiving it. Because it was for me, you know.
It was
it's
so
like,
important for me before this trip was
Yeah.
planned. There was stuff on calendars. There was stuff.
You're booked and busy.
But I said to everybody who was asking about the calendar, I was like, the last day is for Colina. I have to find her. I hadn't even talked to you, to be honest.
Yeah. No, you texted me
I was
and
like,
said, I'm coming
I'm
on the
DMing,
podcast.
I'm texting.
And you want to know what's
She
crazy?
low-key was shading me out, y'all.
No,
She didn't even respond
Let
for
me tell you
weeks,
why. Because when you, okay, now I'm getting emotional. When you texted me was during the time that I told Blake I was taking a break because I didn't know if I should be doing it. So you're literally the first person that I've talked to on the podcast since last month.
I want to blow you up. I want to blow this up. What you're doing is really special. And I just randomly caught him. I don't even know how. I think maybe you were, why do I keep fighting with the mic? Jesus.
It's all good.
I started seeing your podcast randomly. I think you were collabing with your candle company. And I knew, honestly, when I came to Seattle, I was like, I need to stop at Cookie's Candle Bar and make a hubbub there and just shoot some content. And because, girl power, how can I lend what I got? You know what I'm saying? I love you. I love this.
I love
and
you too.
So, but I started seeing the podcast and I started catching little clips and I was like, oh, there are so many podcasts. I'm so over podcasts.
Yeah.
But every time I go on the page and I just find these clips of you all processing real life and trading tips and tricks and methods of just surviving this brutal journey. And I think that we need that.
Yeah.
And it is so aligned. I wrote this album because they said I should do an album. And I said, trying to figure out what the album was going to be about, I just started writing shit that I needed to hear in the moment.
Yeah.
So, I got a session at 4, but I got to drive to Palm Springs. I got to do reports for work, right? And I got to make it to the studio by 4. So, I might eke out a verse. I might eke out the first 2 lines of a verse and a melody idea for the hook and store it right then and there. Like, okay, that's all I could do because I got to go do this report or I got to go pick up or I got to drive to Palm Springs or I got to make it down. Like, it's just life.
Life be lifing. The podcast was supposed to be called Life Be Lifing, but somebody already had that.
Well, I like the Pour It Up podcast. I'm just needing to know where's the pour happening.
We're pouring into each other.
Oh, okay. I low-key was like, where's the
pour?
Pour It Up? I was like,
I know. We started with wine and then it just
got wonky fast. Conversations with wine get wonky fast.
We maybe bring the wine back. But what you're saying is that you were writing for yourself, but really somebody's going to hear it and need to hear what you wrote.
I am saying this from a space of complete humility and from a space of understanding that God is putting me here because my spirit self is ready for it. I'm so emotional. I've been for months. It's out of control. It gets on my nerves. It's so obnoxious. But I think God is like, okay, now I can really elevate what everyone sees because I don't see it. I'm just in.
You need to see
I'm just
it.
A fish in the water. You know
what
I'm
saying? It. That's a part of elevating.
That is right, and to accept and to like just be okay with it and to live into it. Yeah. When you really, I don't see myself as the people I consider to be greats. They're some of the greats are my friends, but I don't think I fit with them. I just think I'm a nice enough person. They're like, she's all right. She can hang out. She's too nice to not let her hang out. Because I genuinely am. I'm a mom's child. Like, if you don't get along with me, it's probably an issue with you. Or you probably did some shit that deserves it. There's only two.
It's definitely not just me. It's you.
It's not me. Because I love humanity. I love people. If you do right and you be right. I was the kid fighting with the bullies in elementary school. I genuinely love people. Yeah. No matter how quirky or different you are, I just really like people.
Yeah.
And so I just feel like we all are trying to survive.
Absolutely.
And when this situation came into my life, it didn't align with my plans. It just didn't. I had intended to purchase another piece of I had intended all these things.
Yeah.
And I had my plans. And so I went forward with executing my plans like I thought I should, because faith without works is, what do? You got to you got to keep moving, right? And then God was like, yeah, no, and then do that too. And I was like, how? Where? I need another me. Are they selling me's on Amazon? Can I get one on Prime? If I could get another me.
Come on. We could be in this thing.
It would be out of control. If I could just have you and me and just dedicate us to a thing that I wanted, it would be a wrap. Right? But there's just me, and there's all of God's blessings and all of God's lessons and all of God's journey right there sitting on your plate. Eat your fucking food. Eat your fucking food. And that's what life is. And so are you going to eat it in gratitude? Are you going to eat it in anger? Are you going to eat it in jealousy? And are you going to sit in your space and be so consumed with yourself that you can't see anyone else's journey, anyone else's pain, anyone else's anything? It's just all about you?
Right.
Okay. And then what?
Yeah.
Right? How do you participate in humanity in a way that makes sense, that matters, that heals, that nurtures? Do I need it? I know somebody else needs it.
Yeah.
And this is what you're doing. And this is why you cannot quit, because you are uniquely suited to speak to that at a time where a lot of people need it. So cry your effing tears, quit your kicking and screaming, and you do this.
Yeah.
And this is why I'm here, because I, at times, was listening to your podcast and I was like, I needed to hear that. I needed to be reminded of that. I needed to hear that. Right in that moment, your quirky self popped up on the screen, being you, right? And I'm like, oh, what's this? Colina has a new, is Colina on the, and I follow the page, because I follow everything Colina does, because if Colina's doing it, I'm supporting it.
And vice versa, girl.
I know. And I'm really proud of you. I think this is important, and I know it doesn't feel like the thing, but it's what those that get it. It's what we're doing right now. I want to find a way to heal myself and heal other people. Yeah, it's become a really toxic society. Yeah, and I just want to be a part of the solution.
Going on. Yes, and not only ourselves, but part of the reason why we have this platform is to share it with others, bring other people along, and to make sure that other people have the opportunity to affirm and be affirmed. So with that being said, you're about to be affirmed. Let me find my affirmation.
Let's do it.
Okay, so I used to bring out affirmation cards, but now I ask people.
There's an app for that.
Is there an app for
There's an app for everything.
Well, yeah, I'm sure there's an app for that. This is the part where I have to search through my phone, so okay. I apologize.
Everything is authenticity is the new black. Keep it a buck, please.
Yes, but we are going to do some affirmations. I'm going to share the prompts with you. Okay. I'm going to ask you to repeat the affirmation out loud. Okay. And then finish the sentence out loud. Okay. I am
a fucking rock star.
Period. I welcome
abundance, ease, and peace.
Yeah. I deserve
success.
I choose
success.
I believe
that legacy is the point of it all.
I trust
God.
I know
God.
I feel
God.
Yes. I create
nourishment.
I love
us all. I love humanity. I love humanity.
I am
Harriet's baby.
Ooh. All right. Well, we've come to the end of our session. That went by so fast.
It did.
I have wonderful. A couple of questions.
Come on.
When is the album dropping? How do we find it? How do we find you? Where are you going to be at? What's happening?
I don't know any of that. No, just kidding.
Jesus.
I'm just kidding. I'm just joking. No, the album should be dropping right around the time that I take off to go to tour with Moby. Okay. So we're talking about in the next
couple of weeks. Okay. When does the tour start?
The tour well, no, I lie. New music will come out. So singles, there's a rollout schedule. Okay. So new songs will start to go out and visuals and things. And then the album, we are looking at very specific dates.
Okay.
Either in November or December.
Okay.
But somewhere in the final quarter of the year,
Awesome.
things are kind of running concurrent and simultaneously. I am a believer in why not?
Yeah.
So I think I'm shoving everybody around me into a space of why not?
Let's just do it. Let's see
And
what
they're like, well, because that's not typically how. Why do we have to be typical? Like, let's be. Have we been creative? Have we thought about options? Are we?
That is.
Let's
so
try. Let's be juicy. Like, who made these rules? Who are they? Where are they?
Oh my gosh.
So we are. But I love the fact that I'm working with a group of people who can live in that space with me. That's just so exciting.
That's important.
And then natural alignment happens.
Yeah.
Like this means a lot to me.
Likewise.
And I'm so happy we got to do it.
Yes.
You are the bee's knees, always have been.
The bee's knees.
And I got your bag, Jack, for life.
And we, got back like for life.
Hello.
You already know.
I died.
How can the people find you?
I am CHOKLATE on everywhere, or Choklate 206. It's either of those on every platform. The music will be out on all your normal DSPs, and I'm around. I'm the type of cat that, like, if you're talking good common sense in my DMs, I'll hit you back. Yeah. And then if you get quirky, I might disappear.
Slide in the DMs. Are the DMs open? Okay, period.
Colina.
I'm just asking.
Oh, wow. DMs are open.
Okay.
And she's a grown woman, so,
the DMs are open.
But you know what? There's a lot of life. So if you're going to slide in, please don't slide in with nothing but some.
Correct.
Like,
come correct.
I don't have time for distractions. Yeah. Okay. But I'm also very much a giver. So being in a relationship means, like, really the person that I am. I can't help but to be myself. So if you're not coming with no good intentions, just, keep it, root for me from afar. You know what I'm saying?
Double tap.
Give me your love. You know what I mean? And if you can or you can't. So I just need you to know, okay? I don't need to have to figure it out. I need you to know what your boundaries are. You know what I'm saying? What your barriers are.
Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you.
I know you could have been anywhere, but I appreciate you.
I love you,
You're a
girl.
rock star. I love you more.
I do.
And
I can't wait to share this podcast with the world and for them to be positively impacted like I have been from your podcast.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, man.
And the music.
I cannot wait. Cookie, I cannot wait.
It's been so long. Yeah, you deserve. All right. Well, we must part at this time. Thank you guys for tuning in.
We'll be back.
I guess on the next pour up, I need to pour something up. That'll be a toast to you.
Pour up some, a kombucha.
Ooh, I don't know.
What I'm saying?
Yeah.
We don't have to pour up alcohol.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. But pour up something that's good for your insides. Try different good stuff. Matter of fact, pour up should be, let's try healthy energy drinks.
Okay.
Let's try plant-based alcohols that don't make you feel crappy. Because, there's wines that are not based on sugar anymore. Yeah. So let's pour up in the right direction.
Pour up ideas.
Hello.
All right.
And we're going to do meditation and yoga.
Virtually. We've already committed to it. So.
Done.
Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Bye.